Have you ever gotten hit so hard by your utility bill that you felt it was a
Finish him!
move by Raiden? Maybe you can't harness and control electricity to the degree of the fictional character, but perhaps you can manage and understand your electricity usage in your house to make money-saving changes. Think of it like this. If your tire pressure is low, and by increasing it to the recommended level, you'll increase your miles per gallon by 25%. Are you likely to take action? In this video, we're going to give you information and insight into energy monitoring systems and what they could do for you, and what all goes into installing one. Because, spoiler alert, it's not always as cut and dry as we'd like it to be. Energy monitoring systems provide real-time data and important insight into your energy consumption. With this information, you can understand in such a way as to have direct control over the cost of your utility bill, especially in places with astronomical demand charges or time of use rates. The system used in this video is made by a company called Emporia. I chose Emporia because, from what I gather, the options on the market are all very similar in nature, with the greatest differences being in user interface. Another thing I really like about Emporia is that it's about half the cost of other similar options on the market. So how does the Emporia Energy Monitor and others like it function to save you money? Energy monitors are installed inside your breaker box and are connected to your electrical system. The components are clamps that literally attach to circuits in your electrical box. The clamps come in different sizes to measure circuits of varying amperage. For context, the main service panel, or breaker box, typically has the main breaker or switch that controls power to everything behind it. That would be other smaller breakers or subpanels if you have them in your house. As you attach these clamps to the circuits associated with the breakers, you are able to measure the electricity being used downstream. For example, one clamp on the circuit that runs in your kitchen will tell you all the appliances and energy-consuming gadgets in the kitchen, and it'll have its own marker in the app where you can see how much power is consumed per minute, per hour, per day, and so on. More specifically, what this does for you is show you exactly when you're using power to be able to make those money-saving changes. This example shows a usage spike in the blue bars a little after 6 p.m. when the AC units kicked on and exceeded the solar panel's production in the green bars. If we compare the usage charts to this utility account, we can see the usage go positive after 6 p.m. When you go back to the Emporia application and look at the Batcave example for the day, you can see the toll the 2 AC units took on the usage. With this information, changes in electricity use can be implemented to mitigate higher rates in the late afternoon as the sun starts to go down and electricity production decreases. Take a look at these rates in a utility whose prices are higher than Willie Nelson on a Saturday afternoon. With rates this high, you'll want to be mindful of what's turning on in your home and at what time. And with the Emporia application, you can see usage in real time by selecting the time frame that you want to look at. In the graph function, you can see what takes place throughout the day with your cost per hour on the y-axis and the time segments on the x-axis. The Emporia system also has a specific management section that will help you manage costs incurred by time of use or peak demand price hikes. Additional hardware in the form of smart plugs can be purchased and installed throughout the house. As you change your settings, these outlets can automatically turn on or off at different times to prevent usage during more expensive rate hikes. After using the Emporia application, I've become more familiar with how to make sense of the system and how behaviors can be changed in the house. I should also note that the house on which this system is installed also has solar panels functioning. This is important to note because the panels mainly face in a way in which power is produced later in the day when rates are more expensive. That means that rather than pulling expensive power from the grid, the AC units are sucking it right out of the solar panels until later in the afternoon as the sun begins to set, of course. If solar wasn't installed in this home, the Emporia system would be even more valuable because I'd have to make significant efforts to reduce usage during peak rates. The Emporia system will give you data down to when an iPhone is plugged into an outlet. So far, this sounds great, right? Well, not so fast, Buster. As great as these energy systems are, they're not always easy to install. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, even after having told you all the positives, it's that you shouldn't get your hopes up that it'll work for you. I hate to say it because I really like these energy monitoring systems, but if you don't have the space in your main service panel to install it, you may as well forget about it. Don't get me wrong, you can still install the smart plugs that go over existing outlets, but these would be limited to monitoring only those things that you plug into this outlet. Your AC unit or anything else that's wired directly into your main service panel will not have visibility through the Emporia application. The problem comes from the fact that the clamps don't always fit inside the service panel with the rest of the wiring. If you have an older electrical box, your chances are even slimmer that they'll fit because they tend to be smaller. But even with a new main service panel like this one, a lot of work still went into installing these plugs, to the tune of almost $800 in rewiring the service panel. So just be forewarned. Another company that makes a similar product is Sense, but at the cost of the Emporia system and its functionality, you really can't beat their price. Plus, as a small bonus, if you buy the Emporia system and already have solar, there isn't an additional charge as there is with the Sense option. I think it was like $50 more, but in today's day and age, that's like 2 gallons of gas, so I'll take all the savings I can get. If you have a system installed like this in your home, whether it's Emporia or not, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What was your installation like? Was it easy or difficult? And how did you change your electricity usage habits after the fact? Now, how would you feel about hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to speed with new drone quote content? Hasta la vista.